To be a part of this Hall of Fame is the single biggest accomplishment you can achieve in what we do.
My brother, ladies and gentlemen, Brad Bailey.
From the legends of yesterday to the stars of today.
He's gonna drop him on his head!
One man is life hungry man out!
From men who have given their bodies, their lives, for what we do.
Casey Allen Adams.
Casey Schofield.
If this is the Hall of Fame, it doesn't get any better than this.
Mr. Quentin Wayne Waterbury.
I enjoyed the hell out of the fun we've had.
They're here because they've earned it. They are here because they fought for it. And they stand at the top of the mountain as wrestling royalty.
Because I am Jim freaking Gormack, and you're gonna live with it.
Hi everyone, it's Naughty Kimmy.
I believe that if it's something you're passionate about and it's something that you love to do, you will put forth your best effort. You will bust your ass and you will get it done.
The Hall of Fame. Now, introducing the Hall of Fame class of 2019.
Kevin Thorne, Black Ray, Jude Macias, Relic, Mordecai, and Gene Snitsky. Hell Army.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WOW. JR and the Rockford won a ringside.
Chris Masters in his debut match for the WOW title.
Chris Masters, 6'10", 285 pounds of chiseled power. Nothing he can't do, nothing he hasn't done in this business.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the EOW World War III pre-show. I'm John Nation. This is my arena. I'm God. You're not. Deal with it.
This year, for the first time, we will have an inspirational section of the Hall of Fame. People who are heroes in our lives. People who have sacrificed, who have given their lives because they love us. This year's inductees: Jamie Carter, Justin Burns, Rudd and Dion Schofield, Priscillian Garcia, Shaylee and Mackenzie Adams, and Robin Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2019 Hall of Fame.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2019 Hall of Fame induction ceremony. My name is Casey Schofield, owner of WOW and 2018 Hall of Famer, and tonight I am so glad to be the host and welcome you all to the 2019 Hall of Fame. You know, tonight we have an extraordinary class. From a faction who dominated this sport for over a decade, to an announcer who made some of the most legendary and iconic calls in the history of this sport, to a champion of the likes that we will never see again in this sport, to a promoter who nobody said he could, but did. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight we will start with something a little different. Ladies and gentlemen, to be an inspiration and to be a hero in life takes more than just a cape. It takes more than just fancy tricks, powers. It takes a level of bravery, selflessness. It takes sacrifice. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we honor some of our loved ones who have given their time, their love, and their lives for us.
Every once in a while, John and I do these Hall of Fame ceremonies where we honor legends, past promoters, people who have come through our product and left a stamp on what we do. But this year, I've decided I wanted to do something a little different. So here we have the inspirational section of the Hall of Fame. I wanted to honor those people that I loved. I wanted to honor those people, pay tribute to those people who loved me, sacrificed for me, was a friend to me, was a lover to me. Anybody that I found heroic, anybody that I found inspirational. And I'm honored this year that we get to do that for the first time. I've had family members over the years whom I've just grown to admire because of their heroic efforts to make it through challenges that they've gone through. I've lost friends and loved ones who I miss so much, and tonight we honor them. My grandparents, Rudd and Dion Schofield, are being honored for their selflessness, for never giving up on me, raising me to be the man that I am today.
I'll help you see things, Casey, my sweet. I'll bring you rainbows to lay at your feet.
You gotta learn some manners, buddy. You'll never make it through life if you don't get some manners.
Anytime I screwed up, anytime I came home drunk, anytime I got into any trouble, Grandma and Grandpa were always there. Robin Nation, for being John's closest friend, his mother, his protector, his provider. She is his best friend, his guidance. And tonight we honor her. My dear friend Priscillian Garcia, who tragically lost her life last year in an accident. She left behind a beautiful little boy. I want you to know how dear a friend to me your mother was. My friend Priscillian was a dear friend of mine. She was always there to counsel me, to comfort me. She got me through breakups, through my eye surgery, through my narrow miss with cancer. My dear friend Priscillian, I love you, and I miss you. To my cousins, Shaylee and Mackenzie Adams, who fought bravely through their terrible disease and bone marrow transplants. To Shaylee, who gave her life and returned home to her Heavenly Father on December 12th, 2000. You were one of my favorite cousins, Shay, and we miss you dearly to this day, sweet angel. Mackenzie Adams, who fought bravely, who survived, and who is married with a wonderful husband, and they hope to start a beautiful family together. To Mackenzie, we've been best friends ever since we were kids, and I want you to know how much I love you. My brother Justin Burns, he was my older brother. He knew how much I idolized him, and he loved me unconditionally. He told me that I would be his best man at his wedding. He promised my grandmother, "Don't worry about Casey, Grandma. I'll take care of him."
Wait, you gonna hurt you, boy?
I was in the middle of a party for Gavin at my mom's house. If you guys want to stop by. Alright, give me a call. I love you. Bye.
Justin passed away the day after my birthday, February 26th, 2007. My brother, I miss you terribly. And I love you. I met Jamie Carter almost on accident, I think. But I met Jamie just in time. Little did I know that the girl that came over to my house that night and had dinner with me, we sat and talked like we were old friends. Talked like we'd known each other for 20 years. Little did I know that that woman would be there for me through some of the most trying times of my life. A month after I met Jamie, I found out that I might be facing cancer. Jamie showed me unconditional love and loyalty. She stuck by me every second, loved me through it all. And on the day of my surgery, spoke such comforting words to me.
I just wanted to let you know how much I love you and let you hear my voice. Before the surgery today, you will pull through this. Everything will be fine. You can do this. Have faith, baby. And as soon as I can, I will be down there and come see you and hug you and kiss you and love you. I love you so much.
There is no one on earth who will ever take your place. I love you always, and I thank you for loving me and being there for me every second, every day, when I needed someone. Raise a glass to these heroes, these family members, these friends, and these lovers. You don't find people like this every day, and they're getting harder to find. We want to welcome you all to royalty. Take your deserved place in the hallowed halls.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you tonight's inductee for the Hall of Fame, Mr. John Nation.
Hello, everyone.
Johnny, tonight we stand here and talk about our loved ones, our heroes. And there is someone very special, my friend, being inducted tonight. And I will turn the time over to you, brother.
She's the reason why I got into the sport to begin with. My mom originally came up with the idea of watching wrestling. My mom was a fan off and on for years, and she decided that I should watch wrestling to find out, what it's like and what it's about. Best move I ever could have made because it got me started in the business. So without Mom, there wouldn't have been an EOW. So it's my honor to induct Robin Nation, my mother, into the inspirational section of the Hall of Fame. Mom, you truly deserve this.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we speak of parents, guardians, great protectors. I look no further than my grandparents, Rudd and Dion Schofield. They provided for me ever since I was a young boy. They were there for me, no matter how drunk I got, no matter what kind of trouble I was in. There's one place that I will always call home, and that is with Grandma and Grandpa. They put up with years of us doing wrestling in their house, me dragging all my friends over. I guess in short, they put up with me growing up. So tonight, Grandma and Grandpa, I know you're proud of me, and tonight, I'm so proud of you. Welcome to the inspirational section of the Hall of Fame. You know, as I said earlier, sometimes in order to get through life, you've got to be brave. You've got to survive here and there. You must survive challenges. And when I think of people like that, I think no further than my cousins, Shaylee and Mackenzie Adams. They had a terrible disease in the late 90s, and they went in for bone marrow transplants. Mackenzie was the sole survivor. We lost our sweet Shaylee December 12th, 2000. She was 16 years old, and her biggest dream in life, she wanted to attend prom. So we buried her in her prom dress. She was the most angelic, wonderful person you could ever meet. And we love you, Shay Shay. Now we go to Mackenzie. Oh, that Kinsey. Kinsey made it. Kinsey lived. We were best friends growing up. She is actually the sister of Hall of Famer Casey Adams, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Thank you. Kinsey is definitely someone that I look up to. You know, being blind in life, a lot of people tend to look up to you. Well, Mackenzie, tonight, I look up to you, my cousin. She has a wonderful husband in Marshall. He's a great guy. I call him the Giant. And Mackenzie, tonight, you and Shaylee are welcome into the inspirational section of the Hall of Fame. Welcome to royalty. I remember about 5 years ago, I went down to Price, Utah. And I only knew a couple of people. But spending time down there with my buddy Art Sanchez and his boy Cody, I met Cody's girlfriend at the time, who would become a dear friend of mine. Miss Priscillian Garcia. You talk about a wonderful young lady, a loyal friend. We had many a drinks together. We'd sit around the campfire and talk. We could talk for hours. She got me through many breakups. She encouraged me anytime I had a new girlfriend or whatever the case may be. And she passed away last year, November 30th, 2018, in a tragic accident, leaving behind a 2-year-old boy. Son, I want you to know, if you ever hear this, what a wonderful woman your mother was. What a wonderful friend your mother was. When I found out about her passing just about a month and a half ago, I cried for 3.5 hours. So I want to say tonight, my dear friend Priscillian, I love you and I miss you. You know, heroes come in all types. But when your hero is your big brother, well, that's a little different. That's someone who is invincible. That's someone who can do no wrong, at least in the eyes of a 16-year-old boy. Justin and I used to go watch him play basketball. He used to be on the Junior Jazz League. I remember my grandparents and we'd go out and pick him up. And I'd be so excited. I was 5, 6 years old. I'd be so excited. We'd go get him, and we'd stay together all weekend, and I'd try and get him to fight me. Try and get him to box, and he would never want to do that. One of his favorite things was Grandma had a little sandwich maker. She'd make him pizza sandwiches. That's what he liked. You know, Justin had his issues. He had his problems, like everybody else. So I can't judge him, and I won't. He was my brother, man. Justin lost his life February 26th, 2007, the day after I turned 17. To say I was devastated was an understatement. But my brother, no matter how many years go by, I'll never let you die. Welcome to the Hall of Fame. You know, my friends, as we've stated off and on all night, heroes come in many forms. Sometimes they come in forms of friends. Sometimes they come in forms of that stranger on the sidewalk who helps you for 10 minutes. Sometimes they come in the form of a family member or a teacher or somebody. In this case, my hero was my lover, my Jamie. met Jamie in January of last year. And she was my saving grace. I remember the first night we met, we made macaroni and cheese and chicken in my cast iron skillet, watched movies and talked like we'd known each other for years. And at first I was just thinking, well, I don't know. But then, well, I'm sure like a lot of guys, I decided that I liked her. And so I brought her flowers and I asked her out. And I'm glad I did. About a month after Jamie and I met, I discovered a lump on my left testicle that was believed to be cancerous. And on April 27th, 2018, I went in for surgery. That woman stuck by me through everything, through thick and thin. She would come over, lay in bed with me, and just comfort me when I was sick and in pain. She'd make me dinner, make sure I was taken care of, bring me medicine. My family loved her, still do to this day, as a matter of fact. I took Jamie to my high school graduation last year. Gave her my ring, everything. Sometimes a relationship doesn't work out. And in the end, ours didn't. But Jamie, it's like I told you on the phone. And it's like I'm saying here tonight. I will love you always, regardless of who comes into our lives or how many years go by. My love, welcome to the Hall of Fame. All right, folks, we'll be right back. And ladies and gentlemen, here to induct this next man, a legendary announcer, into the Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James B. Gormack.
When you're flipping through that channel and you hear that voice, you know that you found the right show if you want to watch the best wrestling in the business.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WOW. KCG on ringside. And tonight, Clawman is here, along with some other men who have come from EOW. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WOW. We are live. Jim Ross and co-general manager Jim Gormack at ringside. And tonight, we got a hell of a card for you.
The man was a godsend to this sport.
This man has been the voice of WOW for forever.
You always knew that it was going to be a big fight feel when JR was on the mic. He just had that ability of making everything feel special.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live on WOW. Jim Ross and Jim Gormack in ringside. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Intercontinental Championship will main event this historic episode. This is WOW 15-year anniversary.
Commando Bot dominating everything back in 05 and 06. The beginning of the Poison turning into God character. He was there for that. The whole the emergence of Master E in 07, 08. watching him become a star, the war.
He had that voice that could just put power into any subject.
His excitement just shone through, and it made the match more special. I mean, you could feel it.
JR and Gormack, they called so many great matches. I mean, JR called matches in WOW for 10 years. I mean, what can you say about that? A decade of your voice being a part of history.
Money from the word go. I'll tell you that right now. There will never be a group that is more entertaining than Jim Ross and Jim Gormack.
Shut up. It's not fair. I demand a rematch. Stop the fighting. Will you shut up? Kevin Nash goes down in the hands of Matt Reed. The match is going to continue just because Gonzalez got eliminated. Doesn't mean the match is over, Gormack.
Damn hee-haw jackass is what you are.
Oh, I know that. I know that. You don't gotta tell me anything I don't know. Let me tell you something, okay? Let me be quite frank with you. This is not about Poison. This is not about Commando Bot. This is about the young guys, okay? So get the past out of your head.
Machine waffles in the back of the steel tank.
Yes, I know it's about the young guys. I know that. And I'm not living in the past. You're bitching and moaning that Casey don't have a job. That's in the past, okay? You need to get over it. You need to suck it up. You need to get with the program and get out on the street and whore yourself out, you Oklahoma bitch. Oh, God. 2x4 right in the face of the machine. You know what? I'll tell you this. To be quite frank, I'm glad this is my last night, okay? So I don't have to deal with sick fucks like you on the announced commentary. Oh, the fuck this. And you are doing a fine job at commentary, Mr. Polgore. A much better job than some hillbilly cowboy inbred. That is enough, Gormack. Here we are back live, ladies and gentlemen, here on WO. That is bullshit. Bullshit. How is that bullshit? Casey is favoring everyone else. Machine busted his butt for him. And now Casey is leaving him in the dark. That is crap. Absolute crap. I don't see how that's crap at all. That's fair. Casey said the Machine got the same opportunity as everybody else. Don't give me that crap about it being bullshit. It's a fair opportunity. It's absolute bullshit. Bullshit. Once again, it is perfectly fair. Fuck you, JR.
You go back and listen to all of the Jim Gormack and JR rantings that they've had with each other, and it's solid gold.
I loved it. But that's the kind of chemistry that they had. You know, you had Jim Gormack was just a fucking prick, and then you had JR, who was a stand-up good guy.
He called everything from the early Commando Bot matches to Polgore and Ultron for the Intercontinental Championship in 2014. I mean, it was great. It was amazing. JR, there will never be another JR in this business.
JR's been the voice of WW for years. A career like that does not go unnoticed, and he deserves it.
He deserves a spot right alongside Poison, right alongside Clinton, right alongside everybody else who's ever been there.
Okay, I just gotta say one thing before we get started. Shut up, JR! You know, I always like these things, I do. Because it gives me a chance to sit backstage and laugh at all you poor saps that come out here and try, that come out here and... bitches. No, I'm just kidding.
JR, Jim Ross. As a lot of you fans know, I started as an agent in 2006. I managed a lot of top guys, from the brother of Hall of Famer Poison Killer, the Hall of Famer Commando Bot, and others. My first 2 years here, I was an agent. But in September of 2008, I fulfilled my dream when I became a color commentator. And the man I got to commentate with was none other than the great J.R. Jim Ross himself. The chemistry we had was impeccable. The chemistry we had will never be matched by anybody. And I dare any of you bitches out there to try and compare us, because you never will. JR and I called some of the greatest matches of all time. JR and I got to call LOW versus Operation Black Fist in the Elimination Chamber, the night Gravedigger won the Royal Rumble, the night Chris Masters became champion at Up in Smoke 2009, when it was believed to be WOW's last. We got to call the first encounter between Schofield and Master E. Yeah. Can't wait to see that at Evil Blood in a couple of weeks. But ladies and gentlemen, JR and I were legendary. He was my tag team partner, and he was a damn good friend. Ladies and gentlemen, the hillbilly Oklahoma ass himself, JR Jim Ross. Shut up, JR!
Well, thank you for that asinine speech there, Jimbo.
You don't call me that.
You know, I started in Fury, as a matter of fact, in 2002. I worked for this wrestling company for a long time. And a man named Schofield offered me a job to come to WOW in 2006. Boy, you better believe I took that. But no, I'm sorry. Jim was showing me notes here. He said I started in 05.
Don't worry, guys. He's just getting old.
Shut up, you jackass. I called some of the most legendary matchups in the history of this business. From the early matchups between The Big Show and Hall of Famer Commando Bot to the first matchup between Poison and Commando Bot for the WOW title. The first hospital match, the night Poison became God. The first Up in Smoke, the first No One Matters, the first Halloween in Hell.
Basically, what he's saying here, he was a pioneer. He's old, folks. He's old. Don't listen to him. He's old. He's a bitch.
Shut up, you jackass! This is my night, not your night. This is my night. This is my Hall of Fame induction speech.
Hey, don't, now, you listen to me, bitch. If you wouldn't even be in the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for my ass. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was in the Hall of Fame before you. So fuck you, JR.
Now you shut up, you asinine prick. I'm going to tell you something right now, Gormac. In all these years, you ain't never earned any damn manners. You ain't never earned any respect. And you're going to learn respect by God. And you're going to learn it tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, as a broadcaster, I have had so much fun over the years. I called so many legendary matchups I couldn't stand here and name them all. I got to call a lot of the action in the war with WOW and EOW in 2008. I've seen rookies become stars. You know, folks, a lot of men's dreams come true. And tonight, my dream has come true. By God, I'm in the Hall of Fame, standing next to Jimbo Jackass. Thank you, folks. That's it for me. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, the most legendary faction in the history of this business, Hell's Army. Men that started a faction in October of 2007 and became one of the most legendary factions of all time. Let's take a look.
Longest tenured tag team in EOW's history, and the best, bar none. I mean, these guys have been at the head of EOW for at least a decade at the most.
Hell's Army was the longest running faction in the history of this sport.
They came in, demolished Team Gravedigger. I mean, back then, fuck, you beat Team Gravedigger, fuck, you're over, man. I thought they were here to stay. They had just beaten the best team in the land.
Gravedigger's doing everything he can to fight out of this, but I just don't see how Gravedigger's going to win this, JR. I'll tell you this, Gene Snitsky has got a lot to prove tonight against this newcomer, Judas Macias. No, I'd say it's the other way around. Judas Macias has a lot to prove. And making his way to the ring, weighing in 361 pounds, Judas Macias. Judas Macias is going to make his in-ring debut in WOW. Black Rain going to EOW this coming Saturday. Right now, he's making his wrestling debut. He's got to warm up.
They led EOW during the war in 08. Whenever a big war came about, you bring in Hell's Army, and it was like you didn't know. All you think you knew to expect was carnage.
Hell's Army's influence during the time of the war was to cause destruction and mayhem, which they did. But the war also helped these guys, not only as a group, but individually. Chris Masters and Black Rain had a series of matches. Black Rain was a member of Hell's Army, and he went on a rivalry with Chris Masters that is still talked about today. But this is where Masters is so dangerous, is where he can get you in the air and throw you. Operation Black Fist, the faction that WW had, went against Hell's Army.
Macias with right hands. That's the turn of power leader. Macias. Oh my God. Oh my God. Straight to hell through the damn table. Oh my Lord. Oh, got him. Yes. Oh, and another one for good measure. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
That was also during the war. So Hell's Army not only caused mayhem and destruction, but it got a lot of guys over, because it was the question of could anybody beat these guys as a group, and there were a lot of guys that couldn't do it.
You never knew what those guys were going to do.
It's all about reinventing. Hell's Army has gone through so many reinventions, new members, members come in, members come out.
He's saying use it all. We're gonna bury these guys right here. Oh, and they're shattered the knee and relics. Oh! Oh! And I would not be surprised right now if Relic is in tears. He cannot walk.
They fought Abyss a lot in 2008 and 2009.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute! Oh my God! Jesus! God! Double straight to hell! To Abyss and Gravedigger! Through both of those tables from 60 fucking feet in the air! Oh my God! Good God!
Double straight to hell, come out with a damn picture, I'll do damn right! Oh. Don't you dare like that! What? What the hell's happened to the ring, Casey? The ring's going up. Clear up. There's a man. What the hell? Oh! Jonathan, that's... A man just came out from under the ring and just blasted Johnny the Bull. Stop! God! To the damn tables! Oh my God! Johnny the Bull is out!
We could somehow always manage to keep it fresh. But the only reason why it lasted so long is it's all about reinventing. I've got to thank, Macias and Relic for even being willing to take these guys like Black Rain, like Thorn, like Mordecai, like Snitsky under their wing and just run with it. Hell's Army is very worthy of the Hall of Fame.
Some of the best work in the business, bar none. And it's time they got commended for it.
It has outlasted every other faction in the history of this business. There will never be another Hell's Army.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to induct Hell's Army into the 2019 Hall of Fame, their manager, Mr. James Mitchell.
Thank you, Casey. Oh, what can I say about my two sons and their collection of friends? Well, basically, I just started from the beginning. We needed someone to challenge Abyss, because Abyss was on a roll. He was a rising star. He was everything at the time. Clawman had just kind of taken a back seat because all these new guys had come in. So we needed a group or a man who we thought would challenge Abyss. So I went out and I called my son, Judas Macias, and I asked him, do you want to get involved in wrestling? He said, sure. Why not? And we talked to his younger brother, Relic. He also wanted to get involved. They had a friend who they knew well as a kid. His name was Black Rain. He came on board about the same time. And when we got in the door, we decided that we would take some guys that were doing pretty well, but make them better. That's exactly what we did with Snitsky and Mordecai. Then, adding one more man to our group to complete our 6, we added in literally a newcomer, Kevin Thorne. He would complete Hell's Army. And since then, we ran terror over WOW and EOW. There wasn't a territory that we didn't rule. There were many men that entered into Hell's Army, Samoa Joe being one of them, and made a quick exit in Hell's Army. We've had troubles, we've had politics in 2009 where they tried to bust us up. It didn't work, mainly because both companies at the time didn't have anything strong enough to support it, so it didn't last. But through all the politics and the backdoor bullshit, we lasted. Up until 2018, last year, when we did Lethal Lockdown. It was an honor to watch my sons pass the torch to the Wyatts. The ironic thing is that the Wyatts aren't here and my boys still are. Who knew?
I guess that says something about you.
Who knew? Hey, one of my members of Hell's Army, Gene Snitsky's a tag team champion now, so why not? No, seriously. What we do now, basically, is we're the openers of the matches now. We get in good tag matches with young tag teams like the War Raiders. We put them over now. My family and I have all figured we've all done what we needed to do. It's time to give back to this great sport. That's what we're doing now. Ladies and gentlemen, my family and my adopted family, meaning Mordecai, Thorne, and Snitsky, and Rain, so my legit family and my adopted family, all together, Hell's Army! Never thought I'd be here. Yeah, we just started as two guys coming in. Never thought we'd be anything else, let alone the most dominant pair ever seen. But we made it. We had matches with Abyss. There he is. Where's that old lunatic gravedigger? Where are you at?
Oh, God, there he is.
We killed it with you.
He's in the front row. How'd you get a front row seat, man?
And I gotta tell you, I want to thank you. In 2008, you did a huge favor for us. Not only did you give us the title, but you sold that beating we gave you like no other. And you helped launch the war. We would go on to some legendary battles throughout the years. We held every championship that there was to hold. And now, all six of us stand here tonight as 2019 Hall of Famers from hell. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this honor. Snitsky, good luck on Evil Blood. That's it for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Hi. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next is an athlete that you will only get once in a great while, is a champion that you will only see every so often. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look now at the greatest champion this sport has ever seen. Chris Masters. The moment I saw Chris Masters, I knew right away that young man was going to be a star.
19 championships. 19 championships. How many people can say they've done that? Only one.
The minute I saw this man, I saw stars.
When he walked into WOW February 10th, 2007, it was him and another signee. I knew Masters was the guy.
Hi. No, you kid. You another new guy? Yeah, I'm Chris Masters.
Gene Snitsky, Big Show, The Undertaker, and Chris Masters in his debut match for the WOW title.
I knew why Casey had invested so much time in this man, because as soon as I saw it, I just knew why. I thought, oh my God, this man's a star.
And making his way to the ring, weighing at 285 pounds, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Masters! Chris Masters, this young kid from Los Angeles, California. Yes, Masters has done it! Here's your winner, and the new WWE Champion, Chris Masters!
Chris Masters, on his first night, has won the title. He's won the gold. You're damn right he has. And Masters has proven to the Big Show that he can and will win.
The very first night, we took a gamble and we put the WOW Championship on him, not knowing that would be the first of 19 world titles. 8 from EOW, 11 from WOW. That is absolutely unheard of in this business. There will never be another record breaker like Chris Masters. There will never be another athlete like Chris Masters. He was the kind of athlete who could make anybody look like $1 million in that ring. Even from his early days, he was so good. He was so smooth. He was so fluent in that ring. It was like watching water. It was just so beautiful.
Nobody else has come close to doing what this man has done in the years that he's been here.
That man could make anybody. If you got in the ring with Masters and you weren't made, it's your own damn fault. Because he gave everything he had, including of his own body countless times.
Masters teetering on that cell. That's a dangerous long fall. It's like they're trying to get all the way. Oh God! Good God Almighty! Good God Almighty! Chris Masters just fell 20 feet off the hell of a cell through the announce table.
Chris Masters had the full package. Okay, he was the full athlete. The man could brawl. The man could wrestle. The man could suplex you to death. I always used to say, you don't want Masters to start these throws, because once you start these throws, he will not stop. And by damn it, he never did. I don't know how he never fucking got tired, but I swear to hell, he never did.
He took a 16-foot dive off that Hell in a Cell, through that table, breaking his back. And he would return, a month and a half later? Probably ill-advised. But he returned and became champion. This was a once-in-a-lifetime athlete. This was an amazing performer who, like I said, would do absolutely anything to be on top.
Turning up the right hand, and Masters, the knockdown of the champion, and here we go.
This guy's wrestled over an hour, countless times. Many a classic match with The Rock, Master E.
Now Master E back in the ring. Here comes Masters with video camera. Oh! He hit right in the face. Now Masters. Masters and Master E fighting to the death here. Both men down.
It was Chris Masters and The Rock. The young generation versus the old. And the old got pushed aside.
Chris Masters and The Rock was a dream match of WOW fans, because it was the original cornerstone of WOW and the current man, the modern athlete in WOW. And you had the two best that we had ever had. And they finally had the chance to go one-on-one, and it was a dream come true match. And it was an amazing match. It was a 45-minute classic for the WOW Championship in the main event of a huge pay-per-view. You don't get any better than that. You rarely find matches better than that.
And here we go, The Rock and Masters, one-on-one here. First lock of the match. Masters hit for the ride. The WWE Champion, driving Masters down to the mat. The Rock into the cover. 1, 2, and the Masters gets his right shoulder up off the mat. And I tell you, these men are just big, strong men. Oh, the power of the WOW Champion. Driving Masters down into the mat. The Rock now. Takes an elbow. Into the hook of the challenger. Of the 14-time former WWE champion. No! And the Rock slamming Masters. The Rock trying to wrestle Masters on the mat here. The Rock turning Masters over. Into the sharpshooter. The sharpshooter. The sharpshooter's locked in on Masters.
He never tired. He never got lazy. He just kept going. And it seemed to me as the match went on, just like I said, as the match went on, he picked up speed. That was probably the most impressive thing about this man, is he picked up speed.
Rushing down and drives that big boot right in the face. Right in the face. This young man's championship dreams are over. No, they're not. No, they're not. Masters will not stop fighting! The look on Masters' face is now one of rage! Oh my God! Masterpiece! One, two, we have a new WWE champion!
And Masters picked up yet another championship.
A 19-time champion, chasing that 20th title reign. If he couldn't win it, it was his career. I'll never forget it as long as I live. Chris Masters, Polgor, Evil Blood, 2018.
You have a young champion, Polgor, who had been undefeated for 3 years in EOW and had a year-long championship reign. And you get a legendary performer like Chris Masters, and he would put his career on the line. It would either be his 20th championship or his 11-year career. And you talk about an absolute clinic. They went out there, those two men went out there, and they put on an Iron Man match that was just unbelievable. Over an hour of pure gold.
Iron Man, the first of his kind. It was phenomenal. Polgor, undefeated. Chris Masters, 19-time champion. Something had to give. Okay? Something had to give. It was either going to be the man's undefeated streak and universal belt, or a man's 11-year livelihood.
Let's see this. Polgor, Masters, one-on-one.
Here we go, boys.
Going forward, one last desperate attack.
Masterpiece.
If we can get him. 1, 2, 21 to 21.
Wow.
Man.
Time is on nobody's side here.
2 minutes left.
A legend. He's a legend in this business. And his accolades are to be commended for it. I mean, he's done it all, and he's said it all, and he's done it all in this business.
John, we're running out of time.
We are now out of time.
We are out of time. We are out of time. 21 to 21.
And that means the next fall is a man's championship or career.
Sudden death.
Oh, here we go, Clinton.
Here we go.
Here we damn go, boy.
This is it. Sudden death. Over an hour. The time limit expired. They are 21 to 21. That's out the window. Score don't matter no more.
Nope.
Boom. God almighty, and Polgor.
It was Masters and Polgor. And Polgor would defeat Masters in the end. But Masters, like the champion he's always been, went out like a man.
Masters trying to go for it one more time. Trying to go for the masterpiece one more time. And now Polgor reverses it. Polgor reverses it.
Going for a droid driver.
Oh, man.
He got every last dollar of it.
Thunderous.
Wow.
Driver. Clinton. Waterbury. This is it.
Holy shit. These two have run each other into the ground.
Oh, you damn right.
And they're still ready for more.
Master's sitting up. Master's sitting up. And Polgor. Masters, he knows he's got nothing left. Masters. Oh, the right hand to the face. And Polgor. Oh my God, Polgor going for it again. Going for it again. Oh, God. Big one.
And another thunderous droid driver.
1, 2. Good God. Wow. When do you stop getting frustrated? Masters is battling for his career.
You can't get frustrated if you're either Masters or Polgor at this point.
But Masters, he's done. He can't get up. He went out just as he came in. His first match was for a championship, and by damn it, his last match was for a damn championship. It's over. That is it. It's over. Polgor, it's 2. Masters 11-year career.
Wow. It's over. It's over. Wow.
Oh my God.
When your championship pedigree spreads over 2 companies and 19 different reigns, and some of the most amazing matches and the most memorable moments in the business, you know that you've earned your place amongst the all-time greats. And well-deserved, too.
If you ask me what a Hall of Famer is, Chris Masters is the entire package.
You can't ask for better.
And ladies and gentlemen, what a man. What a man. A 19-time world champion. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here to induct the great 19-time world champion Chris Masters into the 2019 Hall of Fame, his girl, 2018 Hall of Famer, and Key Baby's opponent at Evil Blood 2019 in the steel cage, the naughty one herself, Kimberly Gormack.
It's Naughty Kimmy! I see all your faces! Hey, baby! Your ass is mine at Evil Blood, bitch! Evil So, I'm sorry. I never thought this day would come.
Tonight, we speak of a man, of a champion, who personified wrestling, who was the measuring stick of what every athlete aspired to be. He could get a match out of just about anybody. He could make anyone a star. He sacrificed his body on so many occasions. He put it all out there in the ring. He is the cornerstone for what every athlete, past and present, desires to be. He is my man. He has won 19 world championships, 8 from EOW, 11 from WOW. Nobody will ever have that record. Nobody will ever touch him. Chris Masters.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. You know, I like this part of my career because it doesn't involve getting hurt. The Hall of Fame is something that every athlete desires to reach. Not all make it. But from day one, I told myself as a young kid breaking into WOW at 24 years old, I am going to make it. I won my first WOW championship, my first night in the business, because Schofield was quoted as saying, "Look at that kid. He's got it." I wrestled legends in this business. I wrestled everybody from the Ruiner to fellow Hall of Famer Clawman Jr., to the Giant Gonzalez, to Master E. Yeah, boo! No comment, Chris. No comment. I'm gonna kick your ass, Eric, at Evil Blood. You better understand that, boy. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder. Hey, it's okay. I kicked his ass on many occasions. Yeah, that's right, Eric. You better believe it. Remember the Royal Rumble 2008? Yeah, I bet you don't. I've been tag team champion. I've been WOW champion, EOW champion. Never won the Intercontinental title, though. Why is that, KC? I don't know. I've won the Royal Rumble. I met my beautiful Kimmy. Of all the things a man can accomplish over the years, you can win 19 world championships. But the most important thing is winning the hearts of your fans. In my last match at Evil Blood 2018 last year, I put over a young man who was the son of a legend. Hey, Polgore, stand up, kid. Hey, I know he's a ball baby right now, but he's a hell of an athlete. Give him a hand. I competed in the one and only 1 hour Iron Man match. We wrestled for over an hour easily. And it was my honor to do the traditional, time-honored thing of putting over the young guy on the way out, because that is what you do in this business. You sacrifice. You give. You have to give to get. No, I never got that 20th championship, but it's all right, because I got something better. I am a 2019 Hall of Famer. Thank you. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of the night. Y'all had a good time tonight? Good. At the beginning of the night, talking about my loved ones, I about cried. But it's going to be different now. Because now, I'm all smiles and so proud. Ladies and gentlemen,
let us take a look at who I believe is the world's greatest promoter, regardless of what he says about me. Ladies and gentlemen, John Nation.
John Nation is a pioneer in this business. This business would not be here if it wasn't for John Nation. I mean, you talk about from the stone ages of this, from the early days of Takeout to the match of the century to the Steel Ring Battle Royal to the creation of Best Moments to the rise of Extreme Object Wrestling to the war in 2008 and everything that has come since. John Nation is an absolute must when you're talking about the Hall of Fame.
The guy's an innovator.
In the early days, John Nation was the king of this business.
So I pitched this idea to Clinton, and he said, okay, let's see what we can do with it. So it took a while for us to do it because we had to get it off the ground. Well, finally, one day at the summer camp, just like I told you, we got some free time, and we finally booked and did the match of the century, which I'm going to tell you was one of the funnest fucking things I think I've ever fucking seen, because it started out with two guys, right? Cyborg and Flair. And then I love this. It turned into one giant big ass clusterfuck, because that's what we did back then. All we did was get started out with two guys, and then they got in a big fucking pile and just fucking brawled. That's all there was to it.
It's finally here, the match of the century. We've all been waiting for it. And here is Ric Flair tagging in. Who's this? The Cyborg. Oh man, here we go. First off, Cyborg and Flair with another kind of bummer suplex.
Flair's just slammed a claw, man.
And now Snake's got him up.
Now the Snake's got him up? This is sick! Clawman has just been sent flying.
The match is over, remember?
The match of the century was so fucking great that we had to see a sequel. We had to do a sequel. There was no way in hell we were not going to do a fucking sequel of Cyborg and Flair. It was too good. So we said, okay, fine. Instead of making it two men, let's make it the first ever in the sport Battle Royal, which is exactly what we did. It became one of the most legendary events. Damn thing lasts probably a good hour. And basically what it was there's a lot of high risk, high flying moves with the ring. You had, because all the ring was just like two shelves. That's it. That's all it was. So if you went to the bottom shelf, you were still safe. But if you went to the concrete and you didn't get up by the count of 5, that's it. That's all she wrote for you.
Oh crap.
Clint and I actually started pay-per-view with the match of the century. We carried it on through the steel ring. And what we did was Clawman and Droid met up then. Well, Clawman and Droid was a huge attraction back then. And we decided, okay, let's have these two wrestle. Well, not only did they wrestle, they finished off the steel ring battle royal. Clawman ends up winning it.
Payback for Clawman now! He's got Clawman up. It's like, climb up, straight up, powerball! He just showed his fist way into the heart of the droid. Way to the heart. But he may be smaller than the droid, but he's sure is faster. Double body collision. Word is down. These are moves that the droid has never even seen before. Who got thrown out?
Floyd did. He just got kicked out of that ring. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's back here though. Oh man. How is this gonna end, Clinton?
Oh, Harman in Detroit now.
You know why?
Why?
Like he just, Carman, just picked up Floyd like he's just some little boy. Oh! Picked him up! Like a ragdoll. Like a small child, Clint, picked him up. Floyd cannot dispute it though. Carman is got the wrestling champion of the world. Can you believe that, Clint? No!
I think that the rise of WOW was what really helped this EOW snowball start rolling.
One of the matches I will never ever fucking forget for numerous reasons was the debut of Poison versus Commando Bot, because that match revolutionized the business, because before then you got a bunch of guys together and you got in a big ass fucking brawl. That's what happens. That was fucking sport. Back then the sport was you won, all you gotta do is show up. That's it. It was open doors, free reign, kick everybody's ass that's fucking in front of you. But when Poison came along and Commando Bot came along, there was structure. It flowed like wine. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the fuck is this? As a fan, it was great. Now, as competition, I was fucked. I was dead in the fucking water. Because, I mean, here's a guy that knew stories, a guy that knew how to do matches, one-on-one man's match. And I'm sitting there going, oh, God, I am dead. Just shoot me now. Because there was no way in fuck I was going to compete with this, alright? There's just no way.
Poison lifting Commando Bot with one arm over his head. Oh, Commando Bot's on his back again. And Poison now looks like he's gonna go for a weapon here. And Poison grabbing a propane tank, and Poison with a propane tank off the head of Commando Bot. Commando Bot's down. Commando Bot immediately getting up, and now Commando Bot's got the propane tank in his claw here. And you know that's not good. When Commando Bot gets hold of a weapon, oh! I don't believe it! I don't believe it! Commando Bot has been beaten! Poison is the new champion! Just like he promised he'd be! Oh my God, I don't believe it! And Commando Bot is unconscious!
This was almost embarrassing, because I'm over here doing a fucking unorganized, pick up a weapon, hit somebody with it, 50 more guys come in, and then you got one-on-one matches. Like I said, one-on-one matches. Shit flow like water. It's like, oh God, I can't compete with this. So I was in trouble. I mean, right from the start, I was in fucking trouble.
It was the beginning days of what would make John Nation change his style. I think the rise of WOW had a lot to do with John getting motivated, changing up his product, changing the way he did things. It made John compete, and compete for real. John Nation was also responsible for creating the Best Moments series, which simply started as just a program to show clips of the past. But it turned into the way to track the ratings. Best Moments was a brilliant, ingenious collaboration of moments and matches. It was put together by EOW to track the ratings and keep score as to who won the ratings battles for that particular time.
Welcome to the best moments of object wrestling. This is a combination of Fury, which will soon be dead, WOW, and EOW. I'm your host, the owner of EOW, John. What you're about to see tonight is pretty much everything that we have done in the past. I have to tell you, there are some moments that will live in, that has pretty much just been, they will live in history.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Casey Schofield representing WOW, welcoming you all to Best Moments 100 here live from the WOW Arena, where I will be giving you my analysis on the best moments of WOW for this very monumental Best Moments. And I'm going to tell you what right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start with our first moment from WOW.
It started as nothing. Best Moments 1, Best Moments 2. And now we're in the hundreds. I mean, John Nation has just kept this thing going and going and going. And it is absolutely phenomenal. All the things, all the accomplishments that John Nation has managed to achieve in his almost 2 decades in this business. John Nation is an absolutely brilliant mind for this business.
The war was something that we'd always dreamed of doing, wanted to do, but never got the chance to do. Mainly because of a lot of backdoor politics I will not get into here. But basically, the war was great because it was finally where 2 companies collided. The 2 big territories.
That war between EOW and WOW is a time in our product that will never be duplicated. John and I wanted to be the best.
I had the privilege of seeing the EOW war, which went on all of 2008 practically. Well, most of the summer at least, but it was just compelling. I sat and watched it going, man, these guys are just not playing around here.
We were at our best product-wise, and we just threw it all out there. We threw everything out there. Everything was on the line.
Give me the darkest goddamn day in WOW history! EOW has taken another title from us! God damn it! Look at John smiling down there with his man. Give me the blackest day in WOW history! I gotta tell you, John has fired the first shot in this war. Or there will be retaliation! So help me God! WOW will have the last laugh in the end!
One company trying to outdo the other. They're stealing talent, trading titles, you name it. They were doing everything.
Real life competition. Everything got real. And that was what made that time in our product so magical. It was our first time competing, and we went balls to the wall.
We were the little company that wasn't supposed to. But we weren't supposed to, but we did. See, here's the beauty of digital. Digital allowed us to save, whereas tapes didn't. Tapes always, you couldn't save everything. Digital, we were allowed to save. The quality improved immensely with digital. I had 2 choices back then in 2011. It was either get with the times or get gone, because my 2 competition were just blazing the trail right on through, and I had only one choice: either pick up speed or go off the fucking highway. That was it. And I was gonna be damned if I let these 2 guys just push me out of the way. It was not gonna happen. So I did the only thing I could fucking do. I got off tapes and I went digital. Thank God, because as soon as I did, it just, like I said, the quality improved, everything improved. the music's improved.
Fucking barbed wire and stop signs. Oh my God.
You may have to quit now. No more window. I'm begging you. No more window. Please.
Oh God. Right through the glass window and Dustin's head again.
It took a while, but when John Nation finally rose to dominance, when EOW became the #1 brand, boy did it stay there.
Remember, Machine? You're dead. And I'm not a wrestler. Bitch. Let's go, boys. Great job, this thing. Great job. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Nation here at EOW's World War III, alongside Jim Gormack and Casey Schofield. One that still has not recovered from the tombstone. And Blanca is still out. Blanca wins. The speed press off. Oh man, the fucking barricade. Oh my hell. If Clawman can get up, if Clawman can't get up, this is over.
I think John had the mindset of, I'm gonna rise to the top, and I'm gonna stay there, and I am going to have my slice of the pie. And let me tell you something right now. John Nation, he reached for that gold ring, he grabbed on with both hands, and he told the rest of the world, fuck you. John Nation became the man in this business. And let me tell you something, in my opinion, long overdue and very much deserved, my friend. John Nation is so good at whatever he does. But I'm going to tell you something. My personal favorite angle in the entire history of EOW had to have been the rise of the evil Mr. Nation. He could play that bad guy so well. He played the part of a mad dictator, someone who took over the entire business. And my God, that was so well done. He is a genius when it comes to character development.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. He quit!
I knew it!
You're eliminated! Finish him! Oh my God. What are we seeing here, Blake?
Exactly what I thought we'd see!
I now own the Empire. I now own the fortress. I now own the tower. And by God, I now own WOW. Now keep this in mind. This is my arena. I'm God. You're not.
John Nation as the evil Mr. Nation, the head man of EOW, the biggest bully in the playground. Oh, it was so good.
We're not going just in front of a live crowd anymore. We have fans that legitimately want to see our shows, which to me is a huge honor because I preached to Casey for God knows how many years. We will never be anything. And I wasn't trying to be the bearer of bad news. I thought I was being realistic. I was wrong. I'm damn proud to be wrong too, because we actually have a following.
It's really cool, bro. Like, played a full concert this year on his show, Evil Blood.
I'm psyched, man. I sampled a bit of what you guys do, and we're playing at the event. Essentially, can we
fuck yeah,
pyrotechnics going?
We can add anything you want,
Hell
Chief.
Yeah. Me and Holly go head to head. Yeah. Oh man.
You better pay me some money, man.
You have the passion that we have as musicians. You have that towards this, and it's amazing when I listen to it. It's like it sparks the imagination. It kicks it up. You have to visualize it in your head. You know.
See, all you have to do is find a niche. You don't need to find a lot, but you find a niche.
And I want to thank all the men, Clinton, you, Casey, Tony, Lost Asylum, anybody who had anything to do with this pay-per-view, I said thank you.
I want to
the
thank
boys in the back, thank you. Without me, we wouldn't have a sport. Without him, there wouldn't be a father, because it never would have gotten out there.
What can I say about John Nation that hasn't been said already? He deserves his place among the greats because his contributions are endless, and he should be commended for it.
This business would not be here if it was not for John Nation. There wouldn't be a WOW without John Nation. There wouldn't be any of this without John Nation. You want to know what a Hall of Famer is? What a Hall of Famer should be? John Nation is it.
Ladies and gentlemen, where do you start with this man? The man started this business in 1999 with as little as you could possibly imagine. We always coined him the little engine that could, the little company that could. And did. Because of John Nation, we saw so many things. We saw the rise of BWW, the rise of Fury, match concepts that have never been innovated, Hall of Famers in this business, such as his fellow Hall of Fame inductees tonight, Hell's Army, Clawman Jr. He helped in the creating and building of Hall of Famer Clinton Waterbury and his legacy, the Droid, and so many other great stars and legends in this business. I feel like the man doesn't get the credit that he deserves in this business. The man works tirelessly, day and night, and has done so for as long as I've known him. Ladies and gentlemen, he's one hell of a promoter. He has pushed EOW to heights never before seen. The man created Evil Blood in 2003. And in 2 weeks' time, we will have the biggest Evil Blood that we have ever seen. At this event, a 14-match card. We got a Lost Asylum coming back. The Heavy Buckets coming in. Tony Gebhard coming in. So many artists. So many athletes, Hall of Famers. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is one hell of a promoter. But not only that, he's one hell of a friend. You couldn't ask for someone more loyal than John Nation. He's not perfect, but who is? Ladies and gentlemen, he's my competition, my fellow promoter, and he's my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the 2019 Hall of Fame, Mr. John Nation.
Thank you. Man, I have to tell you, you can't buy that kind of introduction. Damn.
Cost you $20, buddy.
I'll pay you at the bar.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Okay. Thank you. It's one hell of a Hall of Fame. I'm very happy to be getting this. But there's a lot more to this than people realize. Casey's right. We started out with nothing. Our first champion was the paper finger. Literally. Little origami paper finger. Where are you at? I know you're here. Yeah, there you are. Good to see you. To say we struggled, putting it mildly. We were the little company that never did. For a while. For a long while. But in the beginning, that's fine because we weren't in real competition. In 2002, Clinton came along. And with Clinton came Fury. And with Fury came, well, kind of a struggle. Kind of a sad story in his own right. But, nonetheless, he got plenty of accomplishments, or else he wouldn't be having his Hall of Fame. When Clinton started, he needed someone to hang on to. So Clinton and I, we ran Fury together. And one of the ideas that Clinton came up with was something called Steel Ring. Him and I booked the first ever Steel Ring Battle Royal. Huge. Wound up more rigged than a sick because we knew that we had shining stars. And we wanted those shining stars, meaning the droid from Fury and Clawman from EOW, or as that was known as Takeout at the time. No, ladies and gentlemen, this is not fast food. Put your wallets away.
Really?
But we went on from there to have probably one of the greatest rivalries ever seen. In 2003, we went to the first ever Evil Blood, which saw some interesting concepts. A few dream matches were done. Lizard versus Alligator was done there. And that was a match. We built that sumbitch for like 4 months before we did it. And then Clinton started to fizzle out. He gets a whole bunch of new guys and they start fizzling out. Well, who knew? Who knew it was going to go that way? But you never know what this business is going to throw at you. Like life. If you make bets on life, the house is always going to win. Well, you make bets on this business, again, the house is always going to win. That's just the truth, because you don't know. And then we fast forward a few years later when I met my stiffest competition today, Mr. Casey Lee Schofield. He was going to do whatever it took to get on top. But he didn't start out that way. He started out as small, much like me. He saw a rerun of my show that I had made. And it was during a late night phone conversation. We used to have many of these. Late night phone conversations when, we weren't supposed to be, because for some reason unknown, we weren't supposed to be having those. But anyways, we did. And he asked me, what do you listen to? I told him it's a recording of my show. He says, I don't record my shows. And I asked him, why don't you? I'm over here watching mine. Why don't you record yours? He started recording in late 2005, December. And started handing me his first stack of tapes. Yes, we used to go back and forth by tape, which let me tell you, was a bitch to do. All right?
Yeah.
I'll get to that a bit later on in time. I will tell that story. But right now, we get to my first glimpse of WOW. And I'm also going to tell you my first glimpse of real competition. let's just put a staple in it. I mean, Clinton was good, but he was not real competition. Mainly because I had to hold his hand through more than half of it. Nah, not here. Not here. Them days were over. When I first saw WWE, I was blown away. Or at the time, you were WWE at that time still. Well, I was blown away with what I saw. Because you had a 1 million pound robot just kicking the shit out of everybody. Yes, you know where you are. You know who you are. Yes, I see you up there. He beat the shit out of everybody standing and breathing. Literally. And then along came Poison. When Poison came along, it changed the face of our business, I believe. You had somebody who could set up the commando bot. That made me more interested as a fan. So what we started doing was trading tapes back and forth. Which basically how this worked was we put a whole bunch of tapes into a bag.
Oh boy.
And every chance that we could, we would trade the stuff back and forth. That's all fine and dandy except for one small problem. Sometimes these bags were made of plastic. And trading tape back and forth in the plastic bag was all fine until 2006. We began to trade talent because EOW was really suffering. Because all I had was Flair and Clawman. Casey had all these guys that were just not doing much at the time. So we made a trade. The little guys division for these guys. Well, we put all these guys in the big plastic bag. We put the tapes in there as well, along with an ambulance. I get the bag home from where we were, and no sooner do I start taking it up my stairs when the poor thing finally gives out and begins to break. And break. Stuff is pouring down my stairs. Oh, you know, I gotta hand it to my parents. This is one of the reasons why my mom's in the inspirational section of the Hall of Fame show to get this shit cleared up. Oh, my God. Back to more serious business. Casey, when he found his niche, God, he found it, and he ran with it. And I came up with the idea about going live. I pitched the idea to Casey. We decided that we'd try it. It didn't work for me. It did not work for me mainly because I could not keep the technology to make it work. Like I said, little company that couldn't. Literally. Little company that fucking couldn't. Then you had Casey over here, who was not only the little company that could, but the little company that fucking exploded into a fucking phenomenon. Alright? WOW from 2006 to 2009 was untouched. And it wasn't for lack of trying. Oh God, it was not for lack of trying. The problem was, we couldn't keep up. While he was banging out shows right and left, we had trouble just keeping a crowd going. And of course, we had some problems with our TV volume, not knowing how loud things had to be and whatnot. But hey, you have to work out the bugs. It's like any good product. You have to work out the bugs. And that's what we did. In 2009, oh wait, no, I missed something here. The war.
How could you forget the war?
I'm sorry. Well, Look, dude, I'm talking to about 20,000 fucking people. It's America. I ain't forgotten more.
Oh, I forgot about half of it.
Yeah, I know. Mayhem. We had so many problems back in 2006 and 2007 that we never got off the ground. So finally, in Mayhem, when Casey moved to Layton, we finally were able to get off the ground. And that feeling of doing that pay-per-view was two things: wonderful and beautiful and special, but nerve-wracking as fuck, because you had two people that were individuals. And I was half expecting, no offense to Casey here, I was half expecting to have to hold his hand, because that's what I used to have to do with Clinton. Wrong. It wound up being two separate matches in the same match. It didn't work at all. Somehow we pulled out a good shot of it, but it launched the war. WWEOW war, which I still say to this day was left in the right man's hands. Had I had it, I would have fucked it up. And I know it. I was too young at that time, too inexperienced to know what the fuck I was doing. So it went into the right man's hands. The war propelled many people. It propelled Hell's Army. It propelled Fist Slam. God, the names are endless. Master's Reign. The people that war got over was huge. Then we come to another very special moment I hold very near and dear to my heart and soul. Fury One Night Stand. Fury had died in 2006. So we thought it was dead for good. We got on the phone with Clinton. He agreed to come back for one last show. It was the first time that all three people had been in the same arena at the same time. And the Three Greats match closed out the show. It was an honor not only to do that match, but just to call it. Well, now we come to the tragic part of this history, because we rode that momentum right into the ground. He's for good reason. But I'm not going to spend much time on this minute because it sucked. It sucked, and so did we. Everything went wrong in 2009. So to cut a painful story very short, we both went out of business temporarily. Object Wrestling was borderline dead until, I was going a little bit, but let's face it, I had no business doing anything still. I was burying the company. Literally. Clinton came back, and he brought back Fury. And he brought back some new talent. I believe that was the debut of Paul Gore and Ultron. Was that Resurrected Fury?
No. They'd come 2 years later.
Well, then nobody came out of this Fury run, or at least nobody who we're going to mention anyways. Let's put it that way. Sorry, Clinton. That forced me to kick in another gear. So me and Clinton were going full bore. Well, that reawakened from the ashes WOW. And while Clinton was doing toilet humor, which I'm sure he thought was damn funny, I didn't personally, but he did, Casey was back to banging out full-blown shows. Well, Clinton's response to us was toilet humor. My response to Casey was machine. The very first thing he does beats the shit out of the top star in 2009. Just kicks his ass. So me and Casey went to war, but not a war against each other this time. It was a war of ratings. Then we come to something interesting, where we had another person come in and make his mark in the business, and that's because he got introduced to it by me, who is now our technical support guy. Blake, come up here a second. Blake has been a wonderful technical support guy, but he's also been the former owner of BWW, Brutal World Wrestling, which started in 2010. The very first thing he did was a new concept, glass ring. A ring made entirely of glass. It was incredible. It was new. Nobody had ever seen anything like it. And all new stars. Kingpin, who's now on LAV, you sick bastard. Cadigan, who just on a complete roll. Bulldozer, Kingpin's arch rival. Tornado, newcomer. Nelly, mean sumbitch. And just so many people. It was just a phenomenal run. And while BWW was going strong, he didn't do many shows, but the ones he did were good. He also competed against us in some of our shows. His man, Kingpin, will forever be known as the man that beat Machine for the first time. Then we come to Casey's side, which Casey also brought in a new guy, Aaron Reed, who started out a little slow, but suddenly picked up the potential and got going. He got going quick. Then we come to 2011, where Casey and Clinton both took some time off for a little while. Casey came back in the summer and stayed back ever since. Clinton resurrects Fury from Casey, so what does Casey do to respond? Brings back Legends of Wrestling. And I have to say, wonderful move, mainly because it pissed Clinton off to IL.
Telling you.
It was great. And then Clinton had to go in the Hall of Fame because he was going to get married. So we put him in the Hall of Fame, gave Fury its last rites, literally, and its send-off. One hell of a send-off it was. Now we come to 2012. In my opinion, EOW's golden year. Oh, good God. We ran that year like a mad person. We owned 2012. But so did WW. WW and EOW ran 2012, literally. One thing happened that year in November. Blake is responsible for the 1 hour I Quit match between Kingpin and Bulldozer. My friend, that still is talked about today. Congratulations to you for that one. Next, we come to 2013, which is actually quite sad. Sad, but some good stuff came out of it. Casey had to step down for a little while, so we did an angle where I bought out his company. It worked out so well. Say hello to Mr. Nation. I'm God. You're not. Deal with it. What a bastard I was. Oh, what a bastard. But it worked over so well.
My favorite angle ever in EOW.
Mine too. I mean, it worked so damn well because you had the evil, maniacal tyrant, Mr. Nation, running everything with an iron fist. You had little WOW, who was once big, but taking too many crotch shots by Mr. Nation and got put to his knees. And so basically, I ran the whole empire. I went on a tirade and just gloated. And it was true. I was on my high horse. I really was, because I thought, God, I owned it all. What a phenomenal day this is. That lasted for about a few months until I got knocked off my high horse by, yes, Blake. Not by Casey, not by Clinton. Their boys couldn't get it done. But Tornado versus the Wall knocked me into oblivion. We're going to fast forward a few years now to last year. Evil Blood 2018. Casey, what do we say about last year?
I would say one of the greatest events in the history of this sport.
Oh, I agree with that entirely. You had concerts, you had matches that were just incredible. Last year was very good to us. It really was. And now we come to this year. I am so proud of everything that we've done. And to all the men and women that have contributed to this sport, I say thank you. For the men and women who are going to be at Evil Blood this year, I say thank you. Thank you to all the bands that are going to perform. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll wrap this up now by saying thank you, honestly thank you, for my Hall of Fame. And Casey, we're Hall of Famers. They're not. Deal with it!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's this man's birthday. Welcome to the Hall of Fame and happy birthday, my friend.
Damn
Congratulations.
Right. Damn right. Well, have a good night, everyone. I'm out.
Have a good night. Ladies and gentlemen, your class of the 2019 Hall of Fame.